It's just a scam.
Yeah.
Who's this used? Oh, home insurance.
That's what, because I work with some of these, we do a lot of food photography. That's what a photographer shoots with, which I love.
I love that. So,
Yeah.
so all the grads. Oh, that was a question.
Yeah. They're all lined up right here. Oh, yeah. That's probably
I should not be standing here. We've got all these people.
They're coming in. There's like a bagpiper in the front. They're coming in one of those doors over there. I don't know where it's coming. It must be. Maybe. It's quite possible. There's a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
We're just on the left side.
That's okay. I'm just settling it.
Where's the mic for it?
It's possibly going to be one of the most watched videos. I'm 21.
Yeah, so you guys that's the one that everyone hears about. That's the big yeah, that's sorry. My background.
Aaron Fraser.
unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of employment opportunity. Even here, like urban fire, so there's no freedom. Yeah, I mean, I miss journalism. When I miss about journalism, you're shooting, like, walk away. Commercial work, like, I can shoot all day.
Hello. You have name tags, so I think you probably know what's going on. Are you the official photographer?
You do a quick picture of everybody graduated?
Yep. Crossing stage.
Yeah. And how will you get access?
Good morning. I think you were part of an online university. My name is Rick Davey. I'm the president of Yorkville University, and never so proud as I am today. Welcome to the university's 2019 graduation ceremonies, and welcome to Fredericton. This is a great day. It is National Indigenous Peoples Day, and so we would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional unceded territory of the Wolastoq. It's also first day of summer. And it's your graduation. This is going to be a great ceremony, and after I introduce the platform party, I'll tell you why it's going to be a great ceremony. So let me start with the people behind me. First of all, I'm going to start on my right or left. Dr. Walter Lee, Senior Vice President, Marketing and Student Enrollment. Walter, please stand. And we don't need to clap for all of them. There are a lot. I'll ask each of the platform party to stand when I introduce them and then sit down so everybody else will be able to see the people at the back. Dr. John Crosley, Campus Provost and Vice President Academic, New Brunswick. Dr. Peter Hall, Dean of the Faculty of Behavioral Sciences. Yeah, that's not what I had in mind. Dr. Ellen Lyle, Dean of the Faculty of Education. And Janet Congo, the Dean of Business. Dr. Kevin Alderson, the Interim Director, Doctor of Counselling and Psychotherapy Program. Dr. Terry Lane, Core Faculty Member at ACP Program. And Dr. Sapida Mahani, Associate Dean, Faculty of Education. And on the back row, starting again on the same side, Dr. Rita Kopp, Chair of the Adult Education Program. Dr. Wendy Gauthier, Capstone Coordinator for the MF programs. Dr. Diane Burt, Associate Faculty Member, Faculty of Education. Dr. Susan Elliott Johns, Associate Faculty Member, Faculty of Education. Justin Medic, Core Faculty Member, Business. Yeah, it was lagging a little there. Lisa Allen, Core Faculty Member, Business. Audrey Lowry, Core Faculty Member, Business. Dr. Jill Cummings, Associate Dean, Faculty Development. And Lana Hu, the Campus Registrar. Put this together. Thank you very much. And we have, never mind, we'll get to that. So I was going to tell you why this is going to be a terrific graduation ceremony. Well, most important, of course, is you're here in Fredericton, home of Yorkville University. Today, we are welcoming over 300 graduates from 8 provinces and the Yukon Territory, and that in itself is terrific. And for all of those graduates who could not be in Fredericton, we are live streaming these ceremonies, and we hope you're all watching out there. This is also the first graduation for students in the BBA specializations, which is authorized in British Columbia, and we have, I believe, 3 graduates from those programs here today. But most of all, it's a terrific graduation ceremony because of yours. We're so pleased that you are here, and on behalf of all of us in the academic procession, congratulations and a warm New Brunswick welcome. Now let me segue from terrific to some comments and remarks about this occasion and how each and every one of our Yorkville University graduates, whether you are here or with us watching on live stream, is part of three phenomena that are and have been changing post-secondary education. My title for these remarks is 50, 40, and 15. I'll tell you what I'm getting each. 50. It was more than 50 years ago, long before the business concept of a disruptor was even imagined, that the government of the United Kingdom started to work on the idea of a non-traditional, open access, and innovative university. The result of this idea was the founding of the Open University in 1969. And by 1971, when I graduated with my undergraduate degree, the Open University had started to introduce delivery methodologies to break the time and place constraints of traditional university programs. Over the years, it has pioneered and or perfected the use of correspondence through print and AV technologies. It has used audio and television and distributed classrooms to bring content to the world. And it has pioneered synchronous and asynchronous technologies to provide unheard of access to university programs. More important, it supported and facilitated the massification of higher education from an opportunity for the elite to a public good available to all those who have the ambition to study. While the Open University cannot take credit for all that we employ today as online faculty and students, it is only right to acknowledge its leadership as it has impacted the opportunities for so many adult learners. Chapter 2, 40. And I was one of them. Here's my profile when I was 40 years old. I had been a college teacher for 15 years and was persuaded to move into an administrative position. I have 2 children, under 6, a wife who works uncertain hours, a car that is unreliable, and 2 cats and a Great Dane. Like many of you, I knew 2 things. I needed to get a degree, in my case a master's degree, to advance my career. And second, I certainly could not go back to the kind of program I had experienced as an undergraduate. My solution was Brock University, which used local high school classrooms. The faculty actually came to the places much more convenient for me. I had to be in class every week for the 3 hours as prescribed, and I still had to get to that class on time. But the university was flexible. I could take terms off. The courses were, for the most part, pretty relevant to what I was doing. And the faculty were supportive. In fact, one of them became one of my great mentors. And does this sound familiar? The only time I have ever been at Brock University was for my graduation. I wanted my children to see that their dad's studying mattered and perhaps encourage them to pursue higher education. Chapter 3, 15. 15 years ago, this spring, Yorkville University gained designation as a university authorized to offer a Master's of Arts in Counselling Psychology. Regulated by New Brunswick's Degree Granting Act, your university is very much a product of the previous 2 phenomena. Today, you are graduating from an institution that is based on the same principles of admissions and technological access represented by the Open University, and on a focus on the professional adult learner striving for career advancement and success. The founders of the university were prescient in choosing New Brunswick as the location. When the university opened its new campus at Yorkville Landing, I noted how fortunate the institution was to have located in a jurisdiction that supports innovation and access in higher education. And how's your university doing these 15 years later? Well, today the Yorkville University is even more focused on its academic mission of access, rigor, and flexibility. Its vision is to be Canada's national university with designations to provide practitioner-oriented degree and diploma programs in provinces across the country. To that end, here in New Brunswick, the university is in the middle of a process to receive designation for a Doctor of Counselling Psychotherapy program. In British Columbia, we are shepherding an MBA program through the consent process, and in Ontario, a Bachelor of Creative Arts. And the university's footprint is growing. Yorkville University is opening a new campus in British Columbia in October, and a new Showcase Toronto Film School campus in downtown Toronto this September. The fact that these new campuses attest to the growing appeal of Yorkville University and the Toronto Film School programs to purposeful students across Canada and around the world. So yes, your university is steadily achieving its vision and mission. Thanks to the contribution of so many amazing faculty and staff, and you, and the graduates that went before you. But that doesn't mean we can't do more. Today, as you graduate, you become a de facto member of the Yorkville University alumni community. One of the purposes of this community is to provide opportunities for our alumni, for all of you, to stay connected and to help build the university's reputation, and by extension, the reputation of your degree. And speaking of your degree, let's start giving some of them out. Good idea. I'm now going to turn it over to Dr. John Crosley, who will officiate over the awarding of degrees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. We will begin with the conferring of Bachelor of Business Administration. And to start that process, I would invite the Dean, Shannon Homo, to come forward.
Welcome, everybody. Before I introduce your valedictorian, I just want to take a moment to really thank you and congratulate each one of you. You have all joined this BBA program for a very specific purpose. You come from various backgrounds, and you all face very specific challenges. And you all rose to meet those challenges, which is testament to you being here today. I do want you to take a moment to reflect on how far you've come, how proud of yourselves you should be. And one thing I'd ask each of you to do is go back and read that very first essay you wrote in the USI 1073. Because it was called, Why Am I Here? Do you remember that one? Go back and read it and see if why you're here is still sort of driving you forward to this step and beyond. And I know you're going to have a tough time filling your time now with no weekly DQs and team projects and all of those things. But certainly take the time to reflect, enjoy, and be poised for the new challenges that you'll be facing going forward, because you are so prepared for those right now. And on that note, I'm going to introduce your valedictorian. And it gives me great, great pleasure to do so, because Karen exemplifies everything we hoped that this program would do. Karen was a wife, a mother of 2 children, full-time employee, and had hit some sort of ceiling in her career. Earlier in her life, she had gone to school, studied music, worked in her field, in her craft, took blocks of time off to raise her children, as many of us as parents know is critically important as well. Went back to the workforce and felt that there were so many other ways she could contribute, but without a relevant undergraduate degree, she felt that she was getting stopped along the way. So she was scared. She had reservations. She had no background in business, but she jumped in. And she jumped in with both feet. And I personally have not had the pleasure of teaching her. However, I've spoken to many of her faculty members who say all of her classes were better for her having been in them. So it gives me great, great pleasure to introduce Karen Rose as this year's BBA 2019 valedictorian. Hello, fellow grads of 2019, we did it! I did have my doubts, probably a few tears, not all of them. But here we are. We're ready to leave the long nights, the thousands of DQs behind, share an opinion without citing a source, catch up on some TV. I hear people really loved how Game of Thrones ended. Do you remember before Yorkville, when we thought we were really busy? I look forward to being back busy again sometime soon. It hasn't been easy, I won't lie, and I do want to thank my husband Howard and my boys Werner and Jackson, wherever they are. How you boys? They have been wonderful, terrifically supportive while I pursued this opportunity. In my time at Yorkville, I have learned so much. I learned a lot about business, yes, but also about myself. I can truly say I am not the same person that started this program 2.5 years ago. Do you recall what it was that finally pushed you to sign up for Yorkville? Not only opportunity, for me it was turning 40. Like many people with a milestone birthday, that was when I took stock of my life. I had several career changes, and I had been lucky enough to secure an administrative government job doing good work with great people. But in my role, there was no real challenge, not a lot of opportunity. It was comfortable, but looking ahead for the next 25 years, I said, is this what I see myself doing? And the answer was a resounding no. I was comfortable in my role. I had been out of school for nearly 20 years, but I knew I could do more than what was comfortable. I wanted to learn new skills, take on some new challenges, have some influence, make more money. Although I knew nothing about business, and it was scary to return to school after so long, at 40, I decided to push that button and register for Yorkville. And it's a good thing that I didn't know how much math was really involved, or I would have never signed up for this program. It should have occurred to me earlier, you can't do business without balancing the books, but like I said, I knew nothing about business. And if you asked me a few years ago if I was good at math, the answer would have been a resounding no. One of the reasons I originally studied music is we only have to count up 4, 8 tops. But ask me today about math. You see, I learned I really enjoy finance and accounting, and I'm actually pretty good at it. I had lived 40 years thinking that math was something I couldn't do, and I would have spent the rest of my life believing that if I hadn't forced myself to try. There are many things I regret not trying harder. Yorkville was not going to be one of them. I told myself I am not taking this degree to just get a piece of paper. I am here to learn the skills I need to lead. If you'll indulge a Brene Brown quote, I want to be in the arena. I want to be brave with my life. And when we make the choice to dare bravely, we sign up to get our asses kicked. We can choose courage, or we can choose comfort, but we can't choose both, not at the same time. So like you, I chose courage. And I'm the better for it. I found abilities and strengths I didn't know I had. I improved, and I succeeded because I really tried. And all in 6 hours of sleep a night. We live in a tumultuous time where sustained comfort is less and less an option. Things are changing at an unprecedented rate and little feels certain anymore. For those of us who aren't fresh out of the gate, it's easy to feel obsolete well before our time once we've been comfortable for a while. Change is scary and overwhelming and intimidating, but it's also exciting and innovative and challenging. It's challenging us to be courageous, to do better. Whatever our old ideas about our capabilities are, they're a reflection of the past, not the future. We're not bound by outdated opinions of our limitations. We can dare to change. And we're lucky enough to have the opportunity to do that if we can leave our comfort zone. It's not gone for good, just for a little while. Maximum effort can't last indefinitely. But if we can make the most of our challenge, we can redefine comfort as something more meaningful. We need a little comfort now. We've worked really hard. It's time to reconnect with our lives. But I'm proud of us. We chose courage. We worked hard and we made it through to the end. And after a rest, maybe a glass or two of wine, I know we're prepared to face whatever challenges come our way. Thank you.
We will proceed to the conferring the BDAs, and our marshals here will, these people, I will be handing, just so you know what I do, I'll be handing a card and I'll try to pronounce it. I needed a script about to say. There's an area over here roped off for photographs if you want to come forward and take a photo as your graduating associated with this crossing the stage, take hands with the dean, and wandering that way. You're welcome to give you a minute to get started.
This one came up first. Here, let's stand for the meal. Mommy, you see mommy? Yeah, number 3.
Graduates of the BBA, Karen LaRose.
You do all the talking, okay?
Faye Aiken Damiwa.
Yes! That's what I'm talking.
Catherine Allardyce. Amy Brown. Arthur Gorneri. Stefan Enoch. That concludes.
Our lives drawn out for a second. Okay, let her know that it's back.
I was thinking people are writing their names phonetically for me, and I'm still voting.
Sorry, I'm just gonna.
We will proceed to the conferring graduate degrees.
We're back up.
We will begin with the Masters of Education.
The Wi-Fi disconnected.
In adult education, and I would like to introduce Dr. Alumni, the Dean of Education.
Adrian Rich, in the 1977 address to Douglas College, spoke passionately about claiming education. To do so, she said, is to take responsibility for yourself. It's to refuse to let others do your thinking, your talking, or your naming for you. It means that you insist on a life of meaningful work, and that you have the courage to celebrate difference, and that you find humanity in that difference. Our program recognizes the various places and ways of being that brings us together in the pursuit of higher education. It's built on the promise that we will support you, not despite the difference, but because of it. I am so pleased for each of you as your presence here demonstrates that you have indeed claimed your education. Thank you so much for the privilege of allowing us to walk with you as part of my journey. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you your valedictorian, Joanne Reeves-Root. Joanne holds a degree in equine science diploma and Bachelor of Education degree found her passion for teaching through equestrian coaching. She's an Alberta permanent certified teacher and specializes in Indigenous education, early literacy, and child psychology. In previous leadership roles, Joanne has been a mentor, a teacher, a Spanish literacy exchange coordinator, a basketball coach, and an equestrian coach. She's currently working on becoming a certified yoga instructor. Joanne is also the founder of a not-for-profit publishing organization, Free Tree Publishing, where she promotes the work of Indigenous artists and Indigenous writers. She's passionate about researching and believes that sharing Indigenous ways of knowing will help students from various backgrounds create a reciprocal relationship of healing with Mother Earth. Joanne was so honored to be selected as your valedictorian for this graduating class. She was devastated last evening when she called to tell that the airline canceled her flight from Calgary. While we considered briefly if she graciously volunteered to have her speech read by someone else, we really believed that she deserved the opportunity to deliver this speech herself. We're currently working on arrangements that will allow her to do that, if not at the alumni party this evening, please airlines, then virtually streamed. She sends her deepest thanks, her heartfelt congratulations, and her very, very sincere regrets.
Of the Masters of Education in Adult and Educational in Adult Education. Zainab Abdel Jalal. Michael Ansi Otto. Landon Lays. Herbert Chinake. Rochelle Coleman. Sanyette Horn. Luciana Costa. Catherine Fleming. Janine Miller. Candace Neff. Leslie Potier. Sean Quest.
Yes, sis.
Allison Tate. Claudia Maria Takahashi. Now welcome the graduates of the Master's of Education in Educational Leadership. Matthew Bryan. Cindy Cook. Leonore de Villazion. Victoria Donato. Sarah Dusa. Carolyn Green. Monica Joan Hansel. Aaron Hatfield. Judy Goa. Natasha Hugh. Jennifer McDonald. Denise Nadler. Joanne Samuel. Wendy Sherrick. Sarah Houston. You'll now confer the Master of Arts in Counselling Psychology. I'd like to begin by introducing guest speaker for today, Dr. Kevin Alderson, who joined Yorkville University faculty in 2018 to develop and help marshal to approval our proposed doctor in counseling psychotherapy. Dr. Alderson.
You know, universities did not always exist. Everything has to have a beginning. The very first doctoral credential ever awarded in the world dates back to roughly 1150 in medieval Paris. And yet it wasn't until about 1652 in Germany that the first PhD was awarded. Following that, in 1921, the very first Doctor of Education degree was awarded at Harvard University. And then 1973 saw the beginning of Doctor of Psychology programs, which would give you a PsyD as your credential. And what we are finding is nearly every profession is becoming increasingly credentialed and professionalized. So I was at the American Counseling Association conference in New Orleans in April and needed to see a doctor. So I went to the nearest clinic, and the doctor, actually, he had a doctor of nursing and could prescribe certain medications, but only up to a point. And I thought this was very unusual. I was thinking I was seeing a doctor, and in fact, I was seeing a doctor. So we have people with a doctor of nursing. Recently, we've seen people with a doctor of pharmacy. Doctors are becoming plentiful, but they are recognized and acknowledged as the highest credential within a discipline. But first you have to create the discipline. There has been a fight going on now. I've seen it emerge over particularly the last 10 years, a fight between psychology and between counseling. And in fact, the Canadian Counselling Association changed its name a few years ago to include the words "and psychotherapy." So it's now the Canadian Counselling and Psychotherapy Association, to acknowledge that this is a growing discipline unto itself. But there is this struggle, this conflict between the two disciplines because of territory. Every group wants to hang on to that which they see as their turf. And now we have a new turf war. And I'm really proud to say that we are about to move into an entirely new credential in Canada, which will be called the Doctor of Counselling and Psychotherapy. And in preparation for this degree, our national organization that I'll refer to now as CCPA has been working many years in the trenches to make counseling and psychotherapy its own profession and to be regulated across Canada and the various provinces and territories. And so far we have 5 that are regulated. Alberta recently has created the College of Counseling Therapists. They are not yet up and running, but the law has been passed. So soon Alberta will have regulated counselors. This is a way that we can protect the public so that not just anyone can call themselves a counselor or a psychotherapist, but that you will need to be part of that regulated college. Okay, wonderful. Now we have regulated counselors and psychotherapists, but who are to teach the next generation? So far, we are using psychologists to teach an not entirely different, but a different discipline, counseling and psychotherapy. So it's really wonderful to be part of the first Doctor of Counseling and Psychotherapy program that we are going to have in Canada, and that Yorkville is the forerunner of this program. And so the credential at the end is not going to be a PhD, it's not going to be a PsyD, it's instead going to be a DCP. And as soon as one advances a new degree program, there is again conflict, there are turf wars. But like in buying a house, we put forward our proposal to government here in New Brunswick a few months ago. We had a site visit about 6 weeks ago, and for the very first time, the site visit team said that they are approving our program in principle, and now the back and forth begins as we begin to carve out more of what our turf is going to look like. But we are expecting that we will be able to take students into our program as early as fall of 2020. So please keep your fingers crossed. You're part of a whole new discipline, and you're part of a graduating class that gets to witness Canada in transformation. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce the Dean of Faculty of Behavioral Sciences, Dr. Peter Hall.
to echo what you've heard several times before, and that's a huge congratulations to all of you who are here today. You have all been very hard to where you are. So I also extend a very big congratulations. So it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the 2019 MACP valedictorian. We had an overwhelming response to our call for valedictorians. And it was very difficult having to choose just one person to represent the class at this graduation from such an amazing group of individuals. So that said, again, it gives me great pleasure to introduce your valedictorian, Ola Garvey. And I hope I both, what's that? And I hope I said your last name right. So a little more, so Ola is a Palestinian-born Canadian, single mother of 3 adult children. And as Dr. Dave had said, today is a special day in many ways, and in one more, because today actually coincides with the 7th anniversary of Ola and her family's immigration to Canada. So Ola came here already armed with 2 previous master's degrees before the MACP in human rights and development studies. And she previously worked in the fields of post-secondary education and media management. And as we heard from the previous valedictorian, despite such credentials and experience, she had to start from the beginning when she arrived in Canada. Basically at the bottom rung of the ladder. So she started working as a refugee settlement worker, where she was first introduced to mental health issues, such as trauma and injury. This piqued her interest and motivated her to pursue a new career path that allowed her to inspire others and accompany them along their journey to self-exploration, healing, and development. So with this in mind, Ola joined Yorkville, hoping that an online platform would allow her the space and time to keep a full-time job and juggle life responsibilities, as you can all relate to. Although she was skeptical due to the lack of direct interaction with faculty and colleagues, she says that she could not be a prouder advocate, especially with the quality of education she received and the lifelong connections and friendships that she has made during her time in the program. 4 months into her practicum, she was hired as a program manager and clinician at Options Community Services, where she supervises clinical and paraprofessional teams who are responsible for supporting their clients in areas of family preservation, conflict resolution, and reunification. And on top of all of that, she also has a private practice. And of course, keeping self-care in mind, she, in her limited spare time, enjoys spending time kayaking, and rejuvenating. So, again, it gives me great pleasure. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the MACP valedictorian.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations. This day is bringing us unforgettable joy. It is a great pleasure to celebrate our achievements together. Despite our unique journeys, we are here together. A group of amazing keeners who set their intentions to seek growth, progress, and transformation. A couple of years ago, we responded to a calling. We believed in our capacity of helping others and ourselves, and we wanted to make a difference. We believed in our capacity of helping, our capacity to inspire and motivate. We listened to our internal guidance and joined MACP. And now we have reached this goal. And this applies to other specializations as well. Regardless of the various reasons that brought us here, our journey at Yorkville University has made us better versions of ourselves. This transformation was only possible with the collaboration and support from the exceptional faculty, staff, and colleagues. We were fortunate to receive high-end academic and professional knowledge and skills, and be supported by many significant people, our families and friends, our practicum supervisors and clients. We are now more empowered with vigor and self-belief. We are more enthusiastic to continue this journey of ongoing professional development. We are more confident to face challenges with conviction, to turn our obstacles into opportunities and success. Please allow me to share some personal story that many of you might resonate with. Like Dr. Haas mentioned, this today marks my 7th anniversary to immigrating to Canada with my 3 children. Since day one, we intended to embrace our new home and contribute effectively, at full capacity. Despite the predictable hardships that an immigrant single mother would experience, I was hopeful to turn our life challenges into opportunities. I was aspiring to overcome difficulties with relentless, I was aspiring and hopeful to overcome difficulties with relentless conviction of a better tomorrow. Following extensive research, I joined Yorkville, encouraged by the online program and the specialization itself. However, the first couple of weeks were really tough. I was working full-time job, and I was second-guessing myself. I had immense life responsibilities at the time. I thought it was impossible. Yet, it was that tiny voice that kept me going, that hope of a better tomorrow, and the self-belief that encouraged me and kept me on that path, despite all odds of societal and personal difficulties. And I could bounce back from adversity with the right academic and professional support. I pursued and persevered until I eventually did it, and for that, I am grateful. Besides my private practice, I now supervise a team of counselors, 2 of which are Yorkville Universities, who I hired myself. My experience is not uncommon. I am sure that each and every one of you has an awesome story of struggle and hard work to share. We all did it. Driven by our goals, we chose the road less traveled. This day, we are one step closer to unfolding our life purpose. Let me end this with a quote from Rumi. Do not be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. Thank you and congratulations.
Marshall will get some people lined up. We'll begin for Master of Counselling Psychology. Well, Alumni. Thank you, Steve Vogel. Haley Ernie.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over here.
Angelica Bonaparte.
Get in there. Get in there.
Carol Ann Shishu. Mackenzie Clark. Macy Trent. Andrea Daharte Colleen.
Sorry. I gotta get some pictures here, man.
Lisa
I'm
Duffo.
streaming.
Moira Falana. Kelsey Fisher. Marissa Garton. Rachel Garrow. Len Gilman. Jessica Jones. Shannon Keller. Anna Casalillo. Yukul Kunatoga. Lisa Magnus. Heather Lawler. Tracy Logan. Casey Ludwig. Jillian McLeod. Caitlin Mason. Ashley Miller. Natasha Molinaro. Baby Nasrin. Yasmin Nazareth. Jillian Neal.
Yeah.
She actually told me. So Emily, yes. Valerie McGregor Renville. Velma Ray. Jamie Smith. Jen Smith.
Hey! Come on, Greg.
Nicole Saint-Michel. Kelly Stewart. Alicia Toniello. Natalie.
Yay!
Congratulations.
That brings us to the conclusion of the conferring of degrees. There are many degree recipients who could not join us today. Their names are listed in the programs. So take those and wish them fond thoughts as well. For those watching online, congratulations to them. I'll just say before I turn it back over to Dr. Day that all of us up here on the stage and all of those behind you are just enormously impressed with what you've accomplished. And say once again, congratulations to you all. And all of you back there say thank goodness it's over.
So, first of all, in terms of closing remarks, let's say a congratulations once again to all of our graduating students. If we had hats, we'd be throwing them. A little bit of inside the rope information. You probably noticed that all the people up on stage are clapping and smiling and looking smug because we didn't have to announce the names. Thank you very much for all the people that put this graduation ceremony together. Thank you to Landview and the Registrar's Office in particular for all of their work. Before we get the pipes going again for the processional, I'd like to make a personal comment based on what I've witnessed this afternoon. I enjoy watching not only the people going across the stage, but family and friends who are over there being so proud. And you may recall that I mentioned my children in my graduation at Brock University. They sat so far up in the bleachers, they weren't sure it was me being hooded. So there are some definite benefits for a small, intimate ceremony like this one. But did it make an impression on them? Well, I suspect it did. My son has 3 degrees, including an engineering degree and an MBA, and my daughter has 3 degrees, including a PhD in mathematics. what my children have taught me about graduations. I've probably attended over 100 graduations during my career, but the ones that stand out are yours and those of my children. I don't mind telling you that I was weepy-eyed as I witnessed my daughter being hooded for her PhD, because I was remembering so many of our family's events and behaviors and our dreams and ambitions for our children. This is a proud day for all of you, but perhaps it's an even prouder day for your spouses and partners, your children, and your parents. And you know what? That's what makes graduation terrific, but especially yours, and also so meaningful. Thank you for being part of today's ceremonies. I'll see you at the party tonight. And please remember to say thanks to all that have made this happen for you. Please stand for the recession.
stopping.
Yeah, there's still 28 people watching.